statement is said every morning that you wake me up.
Virus free.
Did you wake up? Virus free.
Yes.
And I thank the Most High
Hallelujah.
that those who really understand that the gloves or the mask is not really protecting us. It's Yah protecting us.
Oh yeah.
He's our true covering. He's our true covering.
True.
Yeah, we do all those things that normal, washing our hands and, following instructions and being aware of things around us. But we understand that Yah is our covering.
Hallelujah.
He's our true covering. So we as believers, we don't praise the gloves. We don't praise the mask. We praise the one who protects us. Whether I had gloves or a mask, it doesn't matter. So I'm excited for that because the same Elohim that protected our ancestors when they was in Egypt, the plague was coming upon them and he was their protection. Even from the death angel. You see, because can't no glove or mask protect you from the death angel.
Sure enough.
Nothing but the blood.
Hallelujah.
Nothing but the blood. So we thank the Most High. Thank y'all for joining us here this evening. Pastor Sherman Jones, want to give a shout out to one of my faithful students in Florida. That is my mother-in-law. Amen. She's always tuning in to make sure I'm in my best behavior. And so she's, I thank you for your support. I thank you for your prayer. I thank you for your love. And I thank you for your daughter. Amen. My true sandpaper. Amen. She polished me, getting me right. Yeah. Go on and say amen on that. Go on and say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Give a few more people opportunity to join this evening. And so, one thing that's trying to really take hold of people is fear. And we have to be very careful that if we sit in front of a box and we hear all that possibility of the negative stuff that are being said and that could create fear, because the same way that faith come by hearing, so does fear come by hearing. And so you get to the point right now, just natural love that we should show one another, like with a hug or a handshake. We are scared to do those things, especially when you look at our culture. That's what we do. We give each other the high five, the dap, and so on and so on. And so, as I was thinking before, that the question that I want y'all to ponder on, because I have said this before, is not so much what is going on right now, but what's going to happen when it's over. What change is going to take place? Okay? What change is going to take place? Because if you think that things are not going to change, then you're not paying attention. I know what I see. I know what I'm watching. We can see there's something on the horizon, and we cannot forget as believers that teaches us in the book of Revelation, there is a one world government coming. Mm-hmm. And so I said, I think last week I said, listen to the elite like Bill Gates and others, especially when he made that statement saying, what if what's going to happen when all this is over? And Bill Gates said, well, I will still be nervous because, I won't know who got the shot or not. And so remember, he's in the medication or in the vaccine business, okay? So he's selling his product, right? So he says that, because I want people to know what he said. He said, well, I think that people should have a ID or a certificate showing that they got the vaccine shot. Now, when I heard that, I'm thinking like, if they require you to get a vaccine shot or else you can't go back to work, what are you going to do? if they require that you, matter of fact, he did say this, Mama. He did say this here. He said because because people is going to be flying and they need the shot. So, in other words, he's saying that if you can't show, it's not longer that your boarding pass, but your shot pass.
All right.
And so, this is what this elite billionaire is saying. Why? Because they're trying to bring in the one world government. Mm-hmm. So I want people to understand that the scripture speaks about the new world order that's going to come. So let's use this episode before we get into our to study, because I want you to you're not going to hear this kind of stuff on CNN, okay? Sure. But I want you to ponder this here. If they require that you get a shot, if you don't get a shot, you can't go back to work. If they require that you must have a shot to enter into a grocery store, because the book of Revelation says that those who do not receive, and I'm going to use what's going on now, a shot, we say, Mark, a shot can't buy or sell. So let's say that they use this pandemic that's worldwide and require, okay, you and I to get a shot. What you gonna do about that? See, these things I want you to ponder. These things I want you to think about. These things I want you to think about, because right now, on the cool, they got us in the corner. Am I right? Mm-hmm. They got us in the corner. This is worldwide. This ain't an American thing. This is worldwide. And so, I just want you just to chew on that and think about that. What if? It's easy to say, nah, I'm not going to get the shot. But I'm saying, what if they cut your stuff off? See, they got it right here. They got us right here. If they wanted this to be the one, this the one. This the one. So I want you to think about that. Think about that if they require that. And if you don't get it, you can't buy or sell. Let me put it in our term. You can't shop at no grocery stores. You can't fly on no airplanes. Your kids can't go back to school until they have this shot. I'm telling you, y'all. I want you to ponder that. I want you to think about that. That's some serious stuff to think about. Some serious stuff to think about. So now, our study tonight is going to be part 4 of the sin virus. The sin virus. If you ain't checked out the other parts, then go back and check out part 1, part 2, part 3. The sin virus. Now, how this teaching came about was when I was at work, and I was seeing the fear that was coming upon people because of this pandemic. And I know where it was coming from, the news, okay? And because they use cameras to show what they want to show. People need to understand that. The president, that when he first came into the office, or when he was coming to the office, he said, listen, CNN, fake news. It's like they tell us, but we don't believe it.
That's right.
Matter of fact, they told us before with a commercial. They say, don't believe everything on the internet. But guess what Americans do? Mm-hmm. They believe everything on the internet. Everything on CNN, like they have the credential. Mm-hmm. They act like they prophets because they said a couple weeks ago that it's going to, we know that in the next 2 weeks, that's going to be over 65 million people die. How you know? Unless you do something about it. Mm-hmm. You ain't no prophet unless you're going to make it happen.
All right.
So these people acting like they are prophets and they prophesy. But you can prophesy something if you know that you're part of doing it.
That's right.
And we have to understand as believers, how many seeds there are in the world according to the Bible? There are 2 seeds. This work here is not the seed of the woman. This is the seed of the serpent. You got to understand. You got to be, listen, this ain't the time to be having your head in the sand. Have your head in the book and understand what is going on before us as believers. Because They're telling us what they're doing if we paying attention. If we paying attention. But if you're afraid, then you're really not even paying attention to what they're doing. See why? Because they're keeping it before you. You know what I'm saying? Feeding you, and feeding you. In the book of Revelation, don't turn now. But no. I'm going to turn now and I'm going to show you and we're going to come back in. Go to the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 6. Revelation chapter 6. And then we'll come back. Because why I have to continue to do these kind of talks is because if your only news is coming from CNN, CBS, and all those places, you're not getting all the right news. You need to know that the greatest news right here is in this book right here.
All right.
To expose what is happening before us. Okay? What is happening before us. Now I want to look at Revelation chapter 6, which have the 7 seals. But I want to jump down to verse and look at the. I want to look at the 3rd seal, verse 5. You want to read, Miss Jane?
And when he went out, another horse that was red, and that's 4, I'm sorry. And when he had opened the 3rd seal, he heard the 3rd beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
Now, just think about this for a moment. Balance. Now, think about what's going on here. Balance. Ain't they trying to balance this thing out? What was the name of that? What was the name of that? Because most people might not even know that, because I didn't know it until I heard you mention that. What was those stones called, man? Remember about the depopulation of the world? And this was written a long time ago now. Now, it's amazing. Remember, the earth is going to reveal things for us that has been hidden. Yeshua saying nothing that's in the dark will come to the light.
Right.
And so they have discovered these stones that I don't know how old they are, but they talk about depopulation of the earth. And this is what the book of Revelation is dealing with: depopulation of earth. How what's going on, that the Most High gave Yeshua this prophecy, and he gave it to his son. And then Yeshua gave it to John to show his servant that things must shortly take place. And so when we look at the book of Revelation, we see multitude of, listen, it say 1/3 of the earth.
Georgia Guidestone.
Okay, y'all, I want y'all to write that down at the house. Say it again. Georgia what?
Guidestones.
Georgia Guidestones. These are stones that they found when? And how old are these? I'm trying to give y'all information. See, this is better than CNN.
Sure is.
And also, I want you to write this down here too, because I got to use my time wisely. I want you to check this out too. Check out John Hopkins, that hospital, which was
John Hopkins.
Yes, which was a founder. The one who started it was a Skull and Bone. Yeah. And they did a trial run, I think like in 2015, 2016, like that, about what if a pandemic happened. So they did the same thing that's happening now, right? I want you to check that out. Also, the guys, if you're listening, check this out, okay? Then I also want you to check out what they're doing, Global Citizen. Now, y'all heard me say that before, right? Listen, they're serious about this here, the one world government. Also, check out ID 2020 and Gender 21. Gender 21. You better find out what they're doing. You better turn out Empire and your favorite show, whatever you're watching. I'm giving you information that you go check it out and get back with me on that. Gender 21. global citizen. And John Hopkins Hospital, right? Hopkins. Okay, what else you got there?
They were put up in 1979.
1979. So, do it say when they were discovered? So as she doing this here, okay, if she find anything else, she will let us know, okay. So it says here that in his hand was a pair of scales. So scales mean balance, right? To weigh things out or to balance things out. So how is this going to happen? Verse 6.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny.
Now, what he's saying right here, that this is a Roman term, that a daily wage for a loaf of bread.
Wow.
If a daily wage, you work all day long
for a penny,
and it's going to cost you. It's a denarius, so it's a term used that if you work all day long, it's not necessarily a penny, because it can be worth like $5. Okay, let's say the Roman term. So if my salary is what I make in a day, let's say I make $105 a day. So the loaf of bread can be like $25, $35. I mean, come on now. So has this happened yet?
Nope.
No. So it's showing that there's going to come a time that the bread, food is going to be expensive. Now it's just even right now, right? Go ahead.
And 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
Now that's funny there, because how much gas is now?
Depends on where you get it, 150, 130.
When the last time that we seen gas that cheap?
Around 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. So look what the verse said. Don't overlook that. Don't touch the oil. What gas is made out of?
Oil.
Okay. And then it say wine. They shut down everything else, but what else they left open?
Liquor stores.
The liquor stores. This is crazy. So we see that these things are happening right before our face. So we got to understand what's going on here. Prophecy is being fulfilled right before our eyes. There's no time in history that the whole world is caught up. And if they pull the button and say, you got to get this shot, ain't we stuck? Ain't we stuck? I'm saying they're not going to force us, because it says that he calls us. Now, if you don't want to eat or buy or sell, then don't take the shot. So that means that we got to get our food. That means that we got to get busy. They said, and do your homework. If you find something, get back on that. Okay. Agenda 21, right? The other, I got to find it again. They said they want this done by 2030.
Yes, I've heard that.
So we got 10 years.
Heard that too.
And they got to tell you what they're doing before they do it. That's like magic. Magic ain't trick. If the man just get up there and start doing stuff, he tell you what he's gonna do first, right? Abracadabra. So they gonna tell us. They tell them what they're gonna do. And I want to see how are we gonna respond as a people when they move back. Okay, and we talked about it, because why? They're not perfect. Satan is not perfect, so he has to do something and then perfect it. Yah is perfect. His ways are perfect. So they're trying to perfect this here. And we got to be alert of what's going on here. Okay?
Test runs.
Huh?
Test runs.
Yes, test run. So now, let's go back to the book of Galatians. So in the book of Galatians, this is going to be part 4 of the sin virus. We're in chapter 5 of the book of Galatians.
I'm just going to read what one of the stones.
Okay.
It's 5 stones.
Okay, y'all, listen up. Listen up.
One of the stones has maintained humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature, guide reproductive wisely, improving fitness and diversity, unite humanity with a living new language, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason.
That's crazy. Go ahead, Bridget.
That movie I don't know what movie it was, But they had this big guy, and he had these stones on this ring, and he was trying to get them from all over the world.
What was it called?
The not Avengers. It started with an A, and it came out in January of last year.
Oh, that was the Avengers.
It was the Avengers.
Unite the stones.
Yeah, they were uniting stones.
Interesting.
I think it was 4 or 5 stones.
Yeah.
4 or 5? I need to check that out then. I need to check that out. So let's read the book of Galatians chapter 5. We can read, I want you to read verse 19 through 21. Galatians chapter 5, verses 19 through 21. Anyone?
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance,
I have lost count with that one too.
emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envying, murders, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim.
Amen. Father, we bless you. We thank you this evening for your unadulterated word. We thank you that no matter what man attempt to do, that you will expose the work of the enemy. God, we thank you this morning that you woke us up, you breathed the breath of life into us. We ask that you forgive us of our sins, our iniquities, and our transgression, for only against thee have we sinned and done evil in thy sight. So we thank you for bringing us to this place, that we have a place that we can come together and study. So we ask this evening, help us to rightly divide your word. In the mighty name of Yeshua. Amen.
Amen.
Now, we talked about in part 1, I brought up the sin virus. Now, what's interesting in the coronavirus, they'll say every virus has symptoms, right? I'm sure by now everybody know the symptoms of the coronavirus is what? Fever.
Wow. Can't move. Still.
Chills. And then what else?
Can't hardly breathe.
Can't hardly breathe, right? So we can say we got 3 symptoms, right, of the coronavirus. Well, when it comes to the sin, we have here how many virus symptoms do we have of the sin virus? And it's just only a few that Paul put here. Think about that. How many we got there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Huh?
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
17. We got 17 symptoms of the sin virus. Now, which one you think is the most dangerous? Because it says here that if you don't deal with this sin virus, you can't enter into the kingdom. You see this virus here? He said, listen, I tell you before, as I've told you in time past, they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. So in other words, that you cannot have this virus and enter into the kingdom. So we got to deal with this virus. So when we talking to people, we need to begin to talk about that. I see that you're afraid of the coronavirus, but let's talk about the sin virus. Because why? The sin virus, it can keep you out of the kingdom. The coronavirus can't do that.
It'll just kill you.
But the sin virus can. So to me, this here, the sin virus, is more dangerous than the coronavirus. That's what I want people to think about. And so I talked about in part 1, I talked about form that's, now notice that each virus has symptoms, right? And so that as a believer, that I shouldn't have these symptoms. I'm married. I shouldn't have the symptom of adultery. Mm-hmm. And notice how adultery and fornication ride by each other.
Yep.
These are symptoms. We call it shacking up. Mm-hmm. No. That's a symptom that if you don't deal with it, it's going to get you out of the kingdom. It's going to keep you out of the kingdom. You see what I'm talking about? So I talked about the adultery. Now, growing up, I don't know. I didn't know the difference between adultery and fornication. I just thought it was just having sex. Mm. But then you grow up and say, oh, there is a difference. Mm-hmm. There is a difference. And this stuff needs to be taught because most people in the church don't know that. I'm telling you, most people don't know that.
Have mercy.
And so I talked about that, adultery. I talked about the fornication. I talked about uncleanness, lasciviousness. I talked about that. Uncleanness. Things that uncleanness is things, our habits. You know what I'm saying? Your mouth is unclean. Mm-hmm. The things that you're watching on TV, that's unclean. Mm-hmm. So we cannot be walking like that. Then lasciviousness, I talked about that one. That's without control. Mm-hmm. These are people say, I just can't help myself. I'm a man. I gotta be a man. Then I dealt with, on 20, I dealt with adultery, which is the same as covetousness. Mm-hmm. Greedy, you just want money. Okay? I dealt with that one. Now, then I dealt with, watch this. Most people don't even know this one here. Let's look at this one here for a moment, because I don't want to pass over this one here. The second one, witchcraft. Now, watch this here, because most people don't know this here. What is the Greek word for witchcraft? Now watch this here. You got it?
I'm going to translate it to English.
Sorcery.
Sorcery, right? Sorcery. What is the Greek word?
Pharmakia.
Say it again.
Pharmakia.
Yes. Pharmacy.
Pharmacy.
Think about that. They're everywhere, ain't they?
Yes, they
are. And this medicine here, pharmacy, has killed more people than you can imagine. In pharmacy, have people thinking that I'm not an addict because I didn't get it from a crack house. I got it from the pharmacy. But the book says that that's witchcraft.
Yep.
That's sorcery. But it have us to thinking that it's okay because a man in a white suit gave it to me. Mm-hmm. But he said, but you can't deal with that. That stuff keep you out of the kingdom. Mm-hmm. How did Michael Jackson die?
Medication.
How did Prince die?
Medication.
How did Everett Preston die? Notice this here. Why? Because the doctor was given to him.
Yep.
I had a friend that I ran into one day. I said, man, I ain't seen you in a while. Man, how you been doing? He said, man, I'm doing good, Sharon. And then he stopped for a moment because he knows what I do, right? Mm-hmm. He told me, he said, Sharon, man, he said, man, I got in a car accident. I said, really, man? He said, yeah. He said, but the bad part is, Sharon, I got hooked on those pills. Mm-hmm. Those pain pills. He said, man, I can see the sadness in his face. Like he just had to tell me, Sharon, man, I got hurt and my back was hurting, and then I went to the doctor and gave me pills, and I got, man, it was just sad seeing him that these pills. Now he's walking around or going around buying pills. Mm-hmm. That was crazy, man. Mm-hmm. And then when my mom was hurt, I think her a cough or something, and guess what? She got hooked on that medication. Yes, she did. Even when, huh? Her knees. Yeah, her knees. That's right. Thank you. Her knees. And she told me that she got hooked on those pills. My uncle's wife back in the day worked at a 4C clinic. She got hooked on his pills. You'll be so surprised how many. It's easy to recognize the crackhead right there. Mm-hmm. But you'd be surprised how many people that work in corporations that pop these pills, hooked on these pills.
That's right.
But in their mind, because I got a tie, I got a suit, and they don't look like they drug addicts.
Yes.
But they are.
Yes, they are.
And they need to hear stuff like this here. Mm-hmm. Just because you're getting it from a pharmacy Huh? Does not mean that it's right. How many times that you got this and you didn't need it?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't need it, but you told the doctor that you need it. If you're watching this here now, today, tomorrow, whenever it be, it doesn't matter if you get it from a pharmacy, a doctor. You know, ma'am, or sir, child, if you're addicted to those pills. So if you are, you got the sin virus called witchcraft, sorcery. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. If you found yourself in that situation, then call out for help.
Amen.
I pray that the Holy Spirit will bring conviction to you. Don't make it and don't tell yourself it's okay because you're getting it from a pharmacy. That's witchcraft. Let's look at a few verses where it said. Let's go to Revelation. Revelation chapter 9. So many great stars have died.
Yes, they have.
You're like, I ain't no drug addict. I get my stuff from the doctor. Very deceptive. The enemy is very deceptive. This is when the plagues are coming on the earth. And this is what the verse said. Just as one verse, read verse 20 and 21.
Revelations 9:20. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver, and brass and stone, and of wood, which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. Neither repented they of their murderers, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts.
Notice that. This is when the plague's coming. If you read chapter 6, 7, and 8, and 9, all this stuff coming on the earth, you don't think man was be repentant. It said they neither repented of their sorcery, their medication. The Most High knows who needs this stuff and who don't. Let's go to chapter 21, book of Revelation. Let's pick it up in verse 5.
And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his Elohim, and he will be my son.
Now watch this here. Go ahead.
But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers
There you go.
and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
You see that? Look how important it is. Even this medication or fornicator is in the same category with murder and whoremonger. But the fearful is in the same category. So you can't afford it. Man, throw that pill bottle away. It's not worth it. Being in the kingdom, being outside of the kingdom, because of a pill bottle? A pill bottle. Get you some help. If it's not you watching today, in the future, get you some help. It's worth it.
Amen.
It's worth it. So now, as we look at this here, so we did form a kill, right? So then, let's take a look at the other word, hatred. Let's take a look at that one. So let's go back to the book of Galatians. All we doing is word study. Now, I noticed that when when people go to the book of Galatians, they want to run straight to the fruit of the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's wrong with that? It's like having a basket of fruit, but you got one bad fruit in there. It's gonna spoil the whole thing.
One bad apple. Yep.
So you can have the fruit of the Spirit, but you ain't dealt with adultery, fornication, lying, drunkenness, all those things, right? No. We don't jump to that yet. Deal with this here. Deal with this here, and it'll make your life beautiful.
I mean,
you see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You done heard people quote the fruit of the Spirit, right? But they won't deal with these first. Deal with chapter verse 19 and 20 first.
Nope, they don't.
No, the fruit of the Spirit. No. How about these first? And that's why I said last week, I said, go to your kin folks, the single people, and ask your friend, hey man, what's up, man? Ain't nothing seen you out. Hey man, let me ask you a question. When the last time you fornicated? What? Yeah. Start asking them stuff that come out the book. And listen, it ain't even got to be non-church folks. Ask believers that too. So when your friends know that, man, here come Pastor Sherman, man, let me go because I know what he gonna ask me. Huh? At least they conscious of that now.
Mm-hmm.
So the second word we're looking at is hatred, right? Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna look at this, how it's gonna be used here. So it want me to go to this section. All I'm doing is using this. If you ain't got this here, get this a great dictionary here. I hope y'all can see this here. Because you got to do word study, guys. You got to do word study. Very important to do word studies, okay? Y'all got that? All right, then. Get that. Build your vocabulary or build your library. Build your library. So now, let me go to enmity, okay? You want me to go to this one here. So I'm going to go to that. Watch this here. So now, okay, one minute. Okay, now this is in the Greek. It's 2189. Okay, now this word here is translated as enmity. Enmity. Now the first time I saw this word is used in Genesis. I will put enmity between your seed and her seed, right? So that means that this word here that's translated as hatred, right? Hate is not good. To be walking around with this here. You don't think believers walk around like that? Oh, listen, Paul not talking to non-believers. He said, listen, you can't afford to walk around in the kingdom with hate. Because why? You're not going to enter the kingdom. Well, you just don't know. So this word means enmity. It means odd, right? Anything else?
Hostility.
Hostility, woo! That's a strong word right there.
Now, implication, a reason for opposition.
Microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do it again. So listen, this is how you learn what words mean. Because sometimes, a lot of times we come to the Bible and we already got a European or Western view of what the word means, right? Right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Hostility, by implication, a reason for opposition. Enmity, hatred.
That's strong. That's strong. Now, watch this here. I'm gonna show you something here. But first, let's go to Romans. Romans chapter 8. This is how I learn what words mean. And you done heard me say this many times in my study, that I know my strong point. It might not be my vocabulary of speech, but I have the ability to know the definition of words. And so you just want to, deal with your strong points. Don't worry about, what you can't do. Like, I hear people say, man, how you memorize all this stuff? Well, I got to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I see points in here that Pastor J, I'm like, man, Pastor J do a good job. Or Karen, And so I see stuff that other people got, but I just walk in my gift. Okay? So we know it's hostile, right? It means hostile. Now, watch this here. Romans chapter 8. Let's pick it up in verse 5. Romans chapter 8, verse 5.
Romans chapter 8, verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit.
What we doing now? You can't tell me that you spiritual, but you never pick up the book. This is your only appetite. For the spirit man, he eat the word. The fleshly man, he live for the world. Watch this here. Go ahead.
For to be carnally minded is death.
Whoa, the fleshly mind, only thing about the body. Go ahead.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Watch this here.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against Elohim.
So what the enmity word mean? Hostile. Hostile. They fighting against what? Their flesh fighting against the will of God. Isn't that something? That's the word hostile. Read it again, baby. That's powerful right there.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against Elohim. For it is not subject to the law of Elohim.
Do you hear that? Once you understand that, like, man, why my brother don't, why my sister did, why my cousin don't? Because they fleshly. Carnal minded mean fleshly. And you think that they fighting against you, like, man, I wish they don't ask me to come no more. No, they imitate to God. But if somebody asks them to go to the nightclub because they're fleshly, you see, they carnal. Carnal mean earthly. They care for the things of the earth. But when I was born again, we didn't care for no spiritual things. You know, we thought back in the day we did. You know, this Resurrection Sunday, like we really cared. But we cared about things of the earth. So I didn't have no spiritual friends. So we see that the fleshly mind is enmity against Elohim and is not subjected to the Torah of Elohim. Neither indeed can be. That's powerful right there. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 2. So if you're not born again, you're going to fight the will of Yah. You ain't going to want to walk in it. Let's pick it up in verse 13.
But now, in Yeshua HaMashiach, you who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Yeshua.
That's us.
For he is our peace, who hath made both one and both broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Go ahead. Verse 15.
But speaking the truth in love may grow up.
No.
Oh, wait a minute.
You went too far. You in chapter 4, ain't you?
Yes, I am. Okay, hold on. You
That's
go.
okay. It's Bible study.
Having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the Torah of commandments contained in ordinances, for to make in himself of twain one new man, so making peace.
Okay, hold on for a second. So now you see, watch this. I'm going to show you something right quick. So what he says here, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, the law of commandments and ordinance to make one. So in other words, that man-made doctrine. You see, man-made doctrine. So our flesh was against the laws of Yah. You know what I'm saying? So he abolished that so that we can be able, why? Because we was all guilty of not, of not obeying it. So Messiah became our peace. Okay? It's because someone will read that, see, he abolished the law. That's not what he's talking about.
Nope.
That's not what he's talking about. Now, let's go to this one here. I want to show you something. James chapter 4. Still dealing with the same word. James chapter 4. Find Hebrews, then go right. Now, I like what James said here because he makes it. Now, James, in the book of James, he tells us now, understand, oh, I said this is crazy. James opened up and saying that he writing to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. I read this all my Christian life. I ain't know what that was talking about. But now I awakening, like, this book is written to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. But listen what it says here in verse 4. Just listen what he says here. He says, from when come wars and fighting among you? Talking about who? The 12 tribes. Chapter 4, verse 1.
Oh. Okay.
Come they not? Go ahead.
From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lusts, that war in your members? You lust and have not, you kill and desire, to have and cannot obtain. You fight and war, you have not, because you ask not.
Now, James, he's talking to believers. This is what he said. He said, you lust and you have not, you kill. That word literally means kill. This is not just a suggested word that he's using. He's talking to believers. Look at how look, I told y'all a long time ago, right? Lust, envy leads to jealousy. Jealousy leads to murder. Here is lust out of control. I want what I want, and I want to kill for it. You don't think believers kill?
Sure they do.
What did King David do?
On purpose. Plotted.
So here's this. He said, I know where war is coming from. Go ahead.
You ask and receive not, because you ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lust.
Now you know. See how James said, oh, I know why you ain't getting it. You ought to know why you ain't getting it. You want it for the wrong reason. Oh, I can preach this whole book right here. Go ahead.
You adulterers and adulteress, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity between Elohim? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of
That's
Elohim.
powerful right there. That's what Yeshua said, that if you were of the world would love you. That's why it bothered me when a pastor is popular. It bothered me. That tell me that you ain't preaching no conviction.
Yep.
You ain't talking about adultery, fornication, homosexual, lesbian. You're not talking about stuff like that.
Nope.
So you popular. He said, you adultery. Know you not that the friendship of the olam, the world, is enmity with Elohim? So if you don't want to be, I mean, it's like you ain't never heard anybody say anything bad about that football player, Tebow. What's his name?
Tim Tebow.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, Tim was just he all on the reporters. I mean, he just nah, you can't be no strong. I'm telling you. So that is what it is. Now I'm gonna show you this. Oh man, time. What time went?
The front part when you were preaching about the sin virus.
Okay. Let's go to Luke. I'm gonna show you something here and then we'll shut down. Luke chapter 23. Watch this here. Now, this is at Yeshua being tried before Pilate, right? It says here, I'm going to show you something here. In verse 6, chapter 23, verse 6 says, and when Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked whether the men were of Galilee, meaning that, okay, if he is, then let's send him back to Herod. Then he said, as soon as he knew that he belonged to Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who himself also were at Jerusalem at that time. And when verse 8 says, and when Herod saw Yeshua, he was exceeding glad, for he desired to see him a long season, because he had heard many things of him, and he hoped to have seen some miracle in it. Isn't that something? Now, this is what I want to bring out here. Herod and Pilate couldn't stand each other. Well, I just said Herod and Pilate couldn't stand each other. And I'm going to bring out something right here. Watch this. They couldn't stand each other. But look what this said here in verse 12. It says here in verse 12. And the same day Pilate and Herod was made what?
Friends together.
They couldn't stand Yeshua. They didn't like him. They didn't like him. Pilate, what I'm saying, Pilate and Herod, I'm gonna change it. Pilate and Herod didn't like each other. Power. It was all about power. But to bring down this man who they said we got to do something about this man unless Rome come take our, you know what I'm saying, our power. Remember that? And so they didn't like each other. And so I'm thinking like, you know what? This stuff happens all the time in the workplace. You coming up the ladder and you know these two girls or these two guys don't like each other. But all of a sudden they friends. All of a sudden they going out to lunch. Why? Because they don't like you. It's amazing how two enemies who don't like each other, but they'll get together to bring you down. This could be speaking to us, how certain churches don't like each other. Some pastors might not like each other, but they'll get together to bring us down. That's what the scripture's showing us. So we got to be careful. Why? Because enmity. They had hostile towards each other. Remember that word? Hostile to each other because it was about power. And so we have to be on our guard that people that you knew that they grew up and didn't like each other, but all of a sudden, why are they friends? Because perhaps they might be plotting against you. Be careful at work. Be careful, house of study, those who are still working in the workplace. Be careful when people sitting around the water cooler, all of a sudden they going out to lunch or bringing each other some lunch back. And you know that a couple of months ago, they didn't like each other. But all of a sudden you got raised or got moved up in the office and all of a sudden now they talking. And you saying inside your mind like, I thought he didn't like him. I thought that she didn't like her. What's this all about? Is that the mind? So be careful wherever you be. It can happen in the church house.
Sure enough. Oh yeah.
Deacon so-and-so didn't like Deacon so-and-so. But because the pastor promoted you. Because the pastor promoted you, now all of a sudden, what's going on here? It might be in the choir. Because now you led the song last week. It can happen anywhere, guys. It can happen anywhere, even in our own family. A man's worst enemy will be where? In his own family. So I'm going to stop there, guys, on which one I stopped on? Enmity, right?
Yeah.
Hatred. So I stopped on that one. I pray that something was said here this evening that just got you to thinking, okay? I want y'all, as long as this thing is going on and then after it's over, let's keep in mind that the most deadly virus is the sin virus. Amen. And every morning, I just get in the habit. You wake up, thank God that you woke up virus free. Hallelujah. That's my statement every day. Every day. And then at work, when people pull up and then I say, ain't you glad you woke up virus free? You know what people say? Well, I hope so. People are losing hope. Yeah. People are losing hope. And so they might not go to church, but when they pull up at their window, it's on. It's on. I know my wife will be embarrassed. She'll be like, I feel like y'all ought to just give God some glory this morning. Hallelujah. Then you wake up virus free. You ought to just shout while y'all sitting down in this house. You ought to go, yeah, I know, I go ahead. I go at it because I'm shouting. Amen. I just thank the Most High. So I thank the Most High, Israel. And if the Most High say the same, we'll be back here this Thursday. And if the Most High say again, we'll be back here on the Shabbat. The doors are open. We will follow the instructions that's given to us. We'll let you know about eating right now. We haven't decided that. But if you want to come, the doors will be open. We'll make sure that we'll spread apart. If you want to wear a mask, I don't care. You want to wear gloves, I don't care. Just whatever you feel comfortable. The longer you come to hear the word and praise the Most High. That's all I'm saying.
Hallelujah.
That's all I'm saying. So let's pray. Let's stand and pray. I thank my mother-in-law again, my father-in-law Ben, and all my brothers and sisters. Thank you. Thank you. I pray.